incidents. As you all know, we are now reliant on technology. Everything is happening now, education, work, conferences, events, even sometimes the medical things are happening through technology somewhere else in the world. So technology is good, but there are some fears that we need to address. So we have in our agenda today like four main stages. It's a simple introduction about the topic, some incidents that had happened, some challenges and best practices. So to introduce, I thought there was a video here, but just a minute, sorry. I'm sorry for that. Okay, let's skip that video and say only that IoT is the network of physical objects that contain embedded technology to communicate and sense and interact with internet states or the external environments. This is by Gartner. And simply to say that now we have like a network of like our coffee machine with our like washing machine, with all the machines we have at home or at work, they communicate together with our mobiles. So there are lots of applications there. There's house alarm systems. They connect the physical door that has been opened with your cell phone that tells you that someone has entered your home. There are smart watches. There are vehicles accessing data. The wake-up alarms even are becoming IoT. The refrigerator that senses the food inside and tells you deficiency. You need more tomatoes here. You need more like whatever it is in the refrigerator deficiency. And smart city applications in general, the smart homes, you enter your phone, you talk to your door that opens, and the lights turn on and so on. In the year 2016 was the year of data security. And to say so, 90% of health care providers suffered from data breaches in the previous 2 years. And this is very, very like scary because, you know, your health data is sometimes private, and private in the sense that you really don't need someone to know about it. The doctor can know about it, but maybe your cousins shouldn't know about it. Maybe someone is waiting for someone to die for heritage or something, and we don't want this person to know that the other is dying. This is a bad example, but it happens. You know, the ransomware, where you were working peacefully on your computer, you had your files, and all of a sudden you get that email that tells you, oops, oh, sorry, we have locked everything on your computer. You cannot access your own data. So you need to pay a ransom for us to free your data. And this is something like, I know someone, a friend of mine, he had worked for years and years in his studies and made a lot of documents and research. They were not published online, but they were like, he's a preacher. So everything was lost all of a sudden with ransomware. Did 2017 look like more the same? Yes, the devices have been weaponized in mass. And in October, there were breaches to webcams, digital recorders, PayPal, whatever. And recent survey of healthcare executives conducted by healthcare said that 52% of security was the highest IT priority, and 58% IoT devices are the top list of security concerns. These are the statistics of the total of the IoT units, because sometimes you say, oh, it's not, we don't have this. No, you will have it. maybe it started at some parts of the world and it will reach our part of the world. So for instance, automobiles, you have 3,511. In services in general, 3,164. The total is 25,000. And this is in millions, 25,000 million. So this is a big number, it's not a small one. Gartner said that by 2020, which is this year, there will be over 26 billion connected devices, while other analysts believe the number will exceed 100 billion. Of course, these were like forecasting, but this year has been different in everything, and maybe things have differed. This was a kind of joke that says, oh, it's your doctor. He just got an alert that you're having a second helping of pie. Because now we are monitored. How many of you feel so private at their home now after smartphones? There is no more privacy in there. No matter the reason why things are being connected to the internet, the end goal is data collection. They need my precious data. Our data is very precious. They are being sold everywhere. We have been intruded through this privacy intrusions. So what happened with IoT devices? There were a lot of incidents. So as you see, parenting in the year 1984, did you really brush your teeth, or did you just get bristles to make it seem like you did? In parenting in 2014, did you really brush your teeth, or did you just hack your toothbrush? Can you hack the toothbrush? Now you can hack it. Yes, because it's connected to the internet. So in the old days when you were buying a washing machine, price was the most important selling point. Nobody's asking, does it have a firewall or intrusion prevention system? Or the simple question is it secure? Starting from this years and years ahead, we ask ourselves, is it secured enough? The problem is we have the old systems and default password. I would ask you a question. How many of you, when we want to put a password to our devices, would put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1 to 8? Many of us do it. Believe it or not, you know what? A company of credit cards was hacked, and the credit cards were taken, the numbers, because the password was default everywhere in the malls. So people hacked the server and got all the credit cards number with those simple, and we keep doing it and doing it again, default passwords or failing to select strong password. And by the way, I would give you a trick for the strong passwords. The trick is, if you, for example, like a statement, for example, I'm an active Rotarian member of District 95, for example. You can just get this phrase written somewhere, hidden somewhere, and take the initials and add some numbers and symbols, and this would be your password, for example. So this is one of the tricks, and it works, I think so. So there was a very sad event. It was a Mirai botnet attack and revenge of Internet of Things. It was early 2016. Believe it or not, it happened 4 years ago. So there was, it was coffee makers attack. And they programmed the coffee makers attack. They intruded it, and they went throughout the network. Because the thing that I want to explain is that the coffee machine is connected with the PC, is connected with the smartphone. The coffee machine is the weakest link because it doesn't have a password sometimes, or like default passwords, as we said. So an intruder might enter the coffee machine, and then from within the network enter to your PC or to my smartphone. So this was a terrible. And the problem was that people, without going into technical details, as I promised, that people took the code, because an attack is simply some code written, some lines written. The code was published online. And when they published the code online, everyone could take it and make more attacks. There is no security by design. A hacker had figured out how to hack into internet-connected kettles and steal some passwords. And in the news, the cameras would be used to spy the owners. The security firm has warned it's too easy for criminals to take control of cameras, which could be used to spy on the owners of the camera. You get a camera like just to secure yourself, and now you are spied. Your privacy has been taken. Moreover, the cute cats, the cute kitty cats, they were weaponized to hack the neighbors' Wi-Fi passwords. So this is a very, very like alarming state. So when you see a cat, you should worry a bit if it's weaponized or she's weaponized or not. This is again hacking kettles, and the procedure was all known. It was a regular connection with a kettle and do some technical stuff, very, very easy, and get into the network. And the hacked cameras, there was a massive internet outage through the cameras, a massive and sustained internet attack that has caused outages and network congestion for large number of websites. The problem is that people, they want to start by the easiest thing, the kettles, and then attack the servers. And then the websites are becoming down and you cannot have them. The attack created problems with Twitter, Amazon, and Netflix, which are now essential websites in our life. So this is very warning, and it's not easy. And there were a lot of lessons learned. Wired published an account describing how two security researchers were able to wirelessly hack into a Jeep Cherokee, first taking a control of the entertainment system, the radio and any entertainment, and then disabling the accelerator. And maybe sometimes turning something on that you didn't turn on. For example, you're driving your own car, which is a smart car, and then you have the radio turned on, and then you have you cannot stop the car, and this is more dangerous. If someone wants to cause an accident, he can just simply stop the brakes, and this is very, very dangerous. Not about entertainment, and it's a lot. So the top things to know about the recent IoT, Internet of Things attacks, that they pose a new risk for, and I want to quote this, everyone. Everyone is at risk. IoT devices are valuable to hackers, and they won't give them up without a fight. They are very valuable because they help them to hack more easily than before. So at this point, they would not give up a hack. And by now, I want to stop and ask you a question. How many of you, and you can through the chat, raise your hands or use the Zoom tool to raise your hand. How many of you have been subject to that email? Oh, I'm sorry, I lost my money, I'm traveling, from a friend, and I need you to transfer more money. How many of you? How many of us has received an email saying you need to update your password for your bank? Here's the link of your bank, just click. You know what? These used to be the easy hacks for people to steal your stuff and make some good money in it. like these emails of like a fraud, or like that you enter the link and you write your username and password, someone else is watching you and taking your username and passwords that are called credentials and uses them to steal us. These were the easy hacks, and hackers usually want the easy way. Now, for the Internet of Things, it has become easy as well, and they wouldn't give them up without a fight. The denial of service attack are severe, and I mean by denial of service like the ones we talked about, like through using the kettles, entering to the network, making the servers down, and disabling users to use Amazon, Twitter, or any websites. And this can cause a lot of losses to the companies of like Amazon, Netflix, of whatever. The cyber criminals, they are not like amateurs. They are hacktivists, cyber criminals driving the attack. And the problem is, I hate to say this, it will get worse before it gets better. So the problem is that we are very connected. Connectivity has outspaced security, and unintended linkages are the rule, not an exception. I mean, everything is linked together. It wasn't intended, but it happened. It is the rule. Um, so if you want to have good Internet of Things, we need to have a secured Internet of Things. We need a multi-layered approach for security, and this is for technical people, so I will not talk about it, but I will talk in an easy way about the challenges that are there. Like, still, the price of turning a dumb device into a smart device will be 10 cents. So this is an alarming statement, because everything will be turned into a smart device. When smart devices are connected together, they're called Internet of Things. I wake up in the morning, I need my coffee. So on my cell phone, I say, turn the coffee machine on. And maybe it's connected automatically to water, and the coffee, it is turned on, and my coffee is ready. I can go and pick it, and even the robot can be there and can give it to me. So this is the life of dumb devices that have been turned into smart devices. The danger from a psychological perspective is that people forget about the technology and forget about the risk associated and our own personal mitigation of that risk. So we have a lot of challenges. We have the baby monitors, and I'm now not talking about technical people. I'm talking about human people that care about their children, that care about their society. I'm talking to Rotarians that work to help the societies. There is an awareness issues. Whenever this technology is there for us, we need to take care. The baby monitors can be used like to be hacked and to enter the network. The internet connected cars, as I mentioned, all the wearables, the Bluetooth, whatever, the health data, the smartwatch applications, and more dangerously, the children toys. People can use the children toys smartly. I'm not sure if you heard about like the blue whale game that was there, and because of this game, some people, some teenagers connected suicide because someone was controlling them through the internet, taking bad pictures for them, and like giving them orders to obey. Otherwise, they would disclose those pictures or those photos. The children toys can be very dangerous to the children we care about, because they start controlling them, giving them orders, taking some photos, and whatever they can do, because they have become smart. So it's very, very dangerous. And our role as Rotarians is to aware the society of this danger and take care of our own children. The facts that are causing challenges, that the potentially record-breaking number of acquisitions of IoT devices was 80% 5 years ago. The IoT playing field grows more crowded. Visa, Barbie, whatever. It has become more and more. And the established companies double down on IoT to offset declining revenue. Intel has cut 12,000 workers. Savings went to the Internet of Things and data center businesses. Smart cities and self-driving cars, 15%. We have completely self-driving cars. And we all heard about the Tesla that was there. Routers and modems pose a particular problem because they are between users and the internet, so turning them off is increasingly not an option anyway. You cannot turn off your router while you're in a Zoom meeting, for example. They're more powerful and more general in function. The 124/7 computing device in the house are a natural place for lots of new features and lots of new risks as well. We use the same login credential. I mean, the credentials of the username is user, the password is 126. This is a challenge. We need to change this. And if you don't get anything out of this presentation, because maybe it's not interesting for you, but the only thing you have to take care of is your username and password. The password should be strong enough, with enough letters and symbols, capital and small, because there are like tools to break the passwords very, very easy. A lot of errors have been done, and this is a challenge. A group of firms, including Vodafone, founded Internet of Things Security Foundations. This is a lot of effort. Setting up platforms for authentication. Authentication means the username and password, and to enhance the security through device and smartphone linking. Microsoft is working on that. And I'm mentioning the names because if one day we as Rotarian want to do something about it, to protect the children, to protect the homes, we need to know the companies that are interested. I will end the presentation. I hope it's not boring because it's a bit technical. I love to talk about peace, about education, innovation, but this is an awareness one. It's important itself, the best practices. We need to protect, detect, respond, and recover. Can I interest you in a firewall for your toaster? Now it's something new. We need something to protect our automatic toaster or smart toaster. So the implementers need to secure, the developers, the securer, and the consumer. I will not talk about the implementer or developer who should do their own work properly, but I need to turn to the consumer. You need to make sure while purchasing devices, if any, if you live in the USA, if you are in Europe, or in countries that have already adopted this, you purchase devices with built-in securities. And let the companies whose products lack security know why you haven't purchased them. This is a role that the consumer can do. Secure the devices you are purchasing, change in the default passwords, and enable the security features. And again, this is not only for IoT, but for all our devices. Is a security alarm that our devices are in danger. And our smartphone that has all our photos or our contacts, our history, need to be secured properly. Now in the smartphones, even, you know, I used to have my, it used to have the face detection, but now after wearing the mask, I cannot every time remove the mask and do my face detection. And I don't want to do the detection with my fingers. Maybe they're not like, they're contaminated with anything. So now I use the iris detection to open my cell phone. And this is something that we need to like work on. At a minimum, smart devices should include the abilities for strong passwords and encryption. It is fundamentally challenging how computers get incorporated in our lives. Through the sensors, we're giving the internet eyes and ears. Through the actuators, we're giving the internet hands and feet. Through the processing, mostly in the cloud, we're giving the internet a brain. And now watch what we're creating together. We're creating an internet that senses, thinks, and acts. This is the classic definition of a robot, and I contend that we are building a world-sized robot without even realizing it. This is Bruce Schneier that has said so. And after finishing this presentation, I have done with my presentation, it is simply awareing that we need to protect ourselves in the health sector by wearing masks and sometimes wearing gloves and washing our hands all the time. But we need to protect our devices by having secure passwords, making sure that we are not connecting to a risky connection. And this is our role to protect our private data that are there. Even if we're not using Internet of Things, we are using simply smartphones, and this is enough to protect and not to be exposed to any danger.